please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to a Megon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today we're going to be responding to 3 videos from one TikTok user. The first video was the one being shared about all over Twitter, and I thought what I'd do is also follow up with other videos, one of which is responding to the attention that video got, another being some comments from a podcast, as I think this is all quite fascinating when one promotes such negative ideals. I will still maintain a very firm stance against the body positivity being interpreted by the current crop of social media influencers, because that particular version is remarkably negative for one's health and for one's sanity. Let's go with that. So let's start with the first video.
Body positivity has encouraged so many people of all sizes to feel comfortable in their bodies, which is obviously positive.
If that is the intended purpose of body positivity, then I can agree with you. However, body positivity also promotes something else. It's all well and good being comfortable in the body you're in, but it also promotes a negative quality, one that allows people to be as lazy as they want to be, or use it as a way of masking their laziness, to then say, I'm just being body positive because this is the choice I've made. But when one promotes that as if that should be accepted in the grand scheme of health as well, you find that body positivity becomes body negativity. If you want to champion positivity towards people of all different shapes and sizes, one has to also acknowledge that there are versions of that while being championed as positive, that are also negative and detrimental to that person and any other influenced by its health.
We all deserve to feel respected and have dignity.
You will find that that is a mythical concept. We deserve respect and dignity. Never expect nor demand respect, therefore deserving respect is also a part of that. You have to earn it. To expect or believe you deserve respect on par, believing it is on par with that of a mother who unconditionally loves their child, is rather novel, don't you think?
But I'd like for us to admit that straight-sized bodies look to be more and more represented in this space at the expense of seeing other body types.
And there is one very good reason for that. It's not just about how in those spaces one wants to maximize it with as many different types of people as possible. Also because those people being represented more than you are more common. Therefore, the representation is going to be more one-sided. But also, people don't look at people who are as big as you, for example, and this is not a shot at your size, more an observation of how it can be interpreted. They're going to look at you and believe you are lazy. So representation is going to be very limited because they can't be certain you'd turn up to represent.
Like the fat bodies that was originally created to centre and advocate for.
According to a video I did last week, those same fat bodies it's meant to represent weren't meant to be for white people, and you look very, very, very pale comparative to others. Of course, I'm not going to assume your race because I can make some rather crass jokes here in the process, and I'm not about that. But here's a key thing that I really want to highlight. Being positive about different shapes and sizes of body, fine. Championing fat people as if one needs to normalize people being fat, that will lead to people judging regardless, because it's an indicator of gluttony and laziness and selfishness. These are traits that many don't see as desirable, positive, or inherently beneficial to society as a whole. Humanity is a judgy species. These things are not going to change just because of what body positivity is supposed to be now compared to what it was when it started. Because while I do from time to time see some genuinely body positive content around, the version of it you want to champion is perverted from the original intended message.
So here I am to take up space in this movement, a cleanse for your body positivity feed, if you will.
I'm not going to put it on the screen because I don't think you need to see the same thing over and over and over again, but I did find it quite amusing that when I went to you look at more of your videos, you did the exact same thing in underwear in a vast number of those videos, which interests me because you talk about taking up space, clearly didn't really do the job of clickbaiting the crap out of getting others to look at your content because you didn't get the views for it. But also, the space you inhabit appears to mostly be the same area of your home. I like that we're trying to normalize body positivity and fat acceptance, which are not the same thing at all, nor should they be. But a lot of those that champion it seem remarkably introverted. Don't you think that's a tad detrimental to trying to be more confident and positive in the body you have?
Showing off my belly, my back rolls, my thighs, physical features I'm oppressed for, vilified for, and hated for. I am body positive.
I would love to know how you are oppressed for being the size you are, vilified for the size you are, without saying the following. People on social media say mean things to me. If you can say something with evidence from real life experience, I'd be impressed, because most people in this country don't give a crap about each other. They really don't. We put our earphones in and we ignore most of the people we see, unless they've got a dog, in which case they're my new friend. You snuck some big words into your grandiose statements while stretching and posing and lounging about to make it seem like you're above it. You're a backing dancer for that This Is Me song, right? Okay. This is video number 1, by the way. The second is from a podcast. I wanted to go to this one first before we went to the response to this video, to the first one, that is.
What society has told you not to be, and fatness is on that list.
That's because to be fat is to be unhealthy, which means while we as a society seek to live longer, fuller, healthier lives, you are trying to race everyone back to the bottom. People say life is short. I hear it a lot. People who say that couldn't be more wrong. Unless you are super morbidly obese, or just in the morbid obese area, but not the one that's derived from BMI, because that could be inaccurate. I mean the type who have gunts and fupas, because you are trying to harm your body. That's what you're doing. You only get one of them. The body regenerates, sure, but the stress is placed upon it. Society will look down on it, and it's not going to change no matter how much you push this negativity as positivity.
So there's this aspect of like fatness being like the monster under your bed. It's this impending doom where you're like, at any moment I could do something and I could become fat, or like I could let go of my restrictions, right? Like letting yourself go is this idea of like, if you've let yourself go, you've gotten fat. And I love to think of this idea of like letting go, like to let go of something sounds so freeing.
So the argument made right at the end there, letting go is so freeing. It isn't though, because if you let go of the control, you let go of the restraint, you run the risk of harm. It's why we are taught control. Without it, we descend into chaos or blob. That's what happens. As we get older, we let go gradually because we don't have to care as much. We're getting older, we enter our golden glory twilight years. Yes, of course, we're not going to be beach body ready unless we don't give a crap about anything but health, right? This is totally fine, but to let go is not freeing in the context of what you're talking about in this now ended short clip. In fact, it creates restriction because you let go, your body puts on weight, it puts pressure on your spine, your joints start to seize up, the arthritis kicks in and does a number on you. In fact, you do damage to your organs, so why let go? Restrictions exist in place not to stop us from enjoying ourselves, but to make us know and be very much aware that we cannot just be free. To be completely free invites the inevitable problem of too much of a good thing, which then does become a curse. Video number 3 is a direct response to the first video, and that's what we're going to do next. Because how one handles criticism or their videos being shared on alternative platforms like Twitter is cliche. I would say a testament to one's character, but that's obvious. We know where this is going.
I have had a weekend of having to really use that block button over on the other app.
She means Twitter.
As a video went down an algorithm I wish it didn't, but here we are.
That's not what happened though. What happened was your video was noticed by people who believe you're pushing a bad message, and they decided to share it on Twitter because your bad message needed to be seen by others who share their views. Knowing that you got very trigger happy with the block button though speaks volumes about how confident you really are to stand firm by your beliefs when held to a standard by people online who disagree with you. Don't forget here, the online space is full of bravery until the light is turned on them, in which case they then suddenly become a turtle. Or is it a tortoise? One that goes inside the shell that we can then cook and use as a bowl.
And when fat phobes have no creativity, their go-to comment is go to the gym or eat a salad, right? That's their go-to comment. And I must have deleted hundreds of that variation over the weekend.
I typically fall under the bracket of fat phobe, and I'm not going to tell you to go to the gym or eat a salad, because no doubt you would have taken photos of yourself at them just to stick it to the man. No, I'm instead going to tell you, you live the life you want to live. Don't try and push the message onto us that what you live as your choice is anything but bad for you, regardless of how easy it is for you to be that way. Remember, a bit of control isn't a bad thing. Too much of a good thing, though, is.
And whenever I read that, my initial reaction, my initial defense is, but I do go to the gym. Or I do eat salad. I love salad. And I have to catch myself because that is my own internalized fat phobia.
No, that's you wanting to correct people, but then realizing it wouldn't matter if you say it. They will then reply with, going to the gym and doing something at it are two totally separate things. Or you saying you eat a salad does not count if you wipe out an entire field in one sitting. Stop trying to find a way to pigeonhole so you don't have to address a problem, an elephant in the room, and no, that's not a fat joke. There is, especially in the online space, always an excuse for crappy behaviour. Always. This is an example of it. But it's only crappy behaviour because it affects you and will do so for the rest of your life unless you address it, rather than make excuses for it.
Because I'm trying to say, but I do the good things. Therefore, I don't deserve the abuse. And I have to catch myself because I shouldn't have to go to the gym, or I shouldn't have to eat salad for someone to respect me and not abuse me. That shouldn't be the line in the sand.
Sounds to me like you're trying to tone police the internet. The internet doesn't give a crap about what you think others should or should not say to you. They will say whatever they want to you because you have put a message online and are trying to act as if your message online should be that's it. On its own, a tautology. What I say is what it is. We don't deal in tautologies here, by the way. We don't deal in absolutes either. Unless that absolute happens to be health, in which case we do definitely stand against those who push fat acceptance. See what I did there? It's called being a hypocrite and I'm okay with it.
Between, hate or no hate. Gym and salad. Also, gym and salad are not accessible to everybody, and some people don't like the gym. Some people don't like salad.
The gym and salad thing not being accessible to everyone thing, we've discussed this 2 weeks ago. It is accessible, you just have to sometimes make concessions for it. Now, you also mentioned some don't like the gym. You're right, many don't in fact. Even those that go to it don't like it, they see it as a necessity. And many don't like salads. I don't like salads and I don't eat salads. But I do eat vegetables. Cooked, steamed preferably. Some roasted, but I don't like raw vegetables. I never have. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But it doesn't mean you can't eat better to look after yourself. But you're now trying to dance hoops around these ideas to titillate the audience into paying attention to you addressing these queries by also addressing your fat phobia as you earlier referenced it. The reality is you're demonstrating how willing some are to make excuses while making it seem like you're presenting a comprehensive rebuttal to why you blocked so many people who criticized your earlier video.
And that's fine. They still deserve peace for existing in their body, right? And the thought exercise we should do is, imagine a more slender built person coming on this app saying, you know what, team, I hate the gym and I'm not a massive fan of salad. The comments would be, oh, you don't need it. You look great.
I mean, those will happen eventually, and there'll be some white knights that'll undoubtedly say it. I think the first question will be, why are you sharing this with us? I get you don't like it, but are you a vlogger? Are you a social media influencer? Have you been paid for this to instead promote those vibrating belt things that go on your abs? Some people like to cheat, I hear lipo's still a thing.
But if you could imagine a larger build person saying the exact same thing, I mean, you know what the comments are going to be like.
Why is there any business of yours? Just the thing here, if someone shares their life with their audience and their audience have questions, sure. If someone just says it in the online space, they're going to get questions. But since you've been making it a point when people have been questioning you to block them out, don't you think it's a bit strange that you'd use other people hypothetically to prevent yourself from doing anything to help or better yourself? You can't tell me this is bettering yourself, by the way.
Fat phobia exists, and that's why I am so passionate about fat representation. And fat representation of fashion, 100%, first and foremost, because I love fashion, I love to dress up, I love to do styling videos for you guys, because we don't get to see lots of bodies like mine, bigger bodies, looking cool,
No, because I made it a point, and I can't show it here because of copyright reasons, to look up body positive catwalks and fashion. Turns out it's very much prominent now. You have companies like Dove, you have companies like Nike, you have companies like Adidas, you have other more high brand ones, even Victoria's Secrets did it for a while, who are pushing body positive and fat acceptance. But the body positive that some were pushing were for people who were disabled. The fat acceptance was for the niche of those who are feeders who like to see big people squeeze themselves into outfits they shouldn't be in. There are also many influencers on social media who do catwalks who are themselves very curvy, plus sized, body positive, that thing, right? You just need to look for it because it's not as mainstream yet. The thing is, if it is mainstream and it's totally normalized, it's a damning statement for society, having failed to control itself. Now, her video goes on for another 3 minutes. I cannot respond to all of that here, but if you do want me to do a part 2, let me know and I'll go and do it, because I'll happily continue this when needed. But I'll be honest, as you can tell, this person is full of excuses, and I don't have time for that. I want you to know you are making mistakes with your own choices, but they are still your choices to make. I just don't agree with them, and I'm allowed to disagree with them, as much as you are allowed to disagree that I disagree with you. That's quite alright. I'm not looking down on you either, by the way. I just think you've made a bad decision. Let me know what you think in the comments though, folks. You can be as disrespectful to me as you like. I don't mind, and I won't be deleting any either.